It's hard generally here in South Africa. People are over-indebted, high cost of living is amounting.
It's very hard, especially when you are in credit bureau and you want to get loan, they don't give you. A lot of people, they are suffering. It's difficult for them.
Most people are so indebted.
You need to understand, if you don't pay from your credit, you are going to be discredited and then you will end up to credit bureau.
It's also give a problem for people to pay them back. Too much interest on that.
Over 50% of the people that have credit records are over-indebted or their credit is impaired. And this problem affects everybody across all classes. It gets a bit worse for people that are earning below certain amounts because their disposable income tends to be smaller.
I was working in a call center, and you know, in a call center, you work very hard to get that commission, to get that big amount of money. I was 22 years old. It was my first job, and I was trying to pave my life. I used to buy myself clothes. I used to buy myself food that I never ate before. Those months were good. I saw most of my friends were buying cars. So I went to the bank and applied for a loan. And I was approved for a car. Then they phoned me again. You qualify for a credit card. I didn't know that I was putting myself into trouble. Everything changed in the company. The commission structure changed. I was only getting paid my basic salary. It was equal to the installment that I'm paying for the loan and credit card. I couldn't pay that loan. I couldn't pay that credit card anymore.
Customer really only starts becoming aware that he's falling in arrears when he is unable to pay his debt. You get collections agencies phoning you on a daily basis, getting letter of demands at your house, that you really understand that there is now a problem.
I'm a shopaholic, I must say. Let's say if I do window shopping and I see something that I like, then I buy it. I used to have 5 clothing accounts. I also had bank loans. I can't say there was something so serious that I needed the loan for. I just needed the money, some cash. 2009, that is when I lost my job.
For that credit card, I ended up running away. I used all the funds, taking those funds on credit card, paying the loan, and not paying the credit card back. I didn't pay my debts for more than 4 years. It was just building and building, interest after interest every month. I was so distressed. I was financially distressed. You get angry, you get frustrated to everyone, you get frustrated to your payday because I couldn't pay off my debts, I couldn't survive anymore. It can make someone commit suicide.
Because consumers is falling behind in arrears, what happened is your credit profile deteriorates. You're unable to get credit. Nobody wants to help you. Consumers then go to informal lending or to cash loans that's very expensive, trying to make ends meet. Being a responsible credit provider, we know that we need to play a role in terms of helping consumers to manage their debt.
Bayport is the 3rd largest unsecured lender in South Africa. We operate in financial services environment. Most people know banks, so they think that if you want a loan or if you want assistance, you must go to a bank. We normally help people that do not have any security to access financing in South Africa. These are the people that are called the missing middle. So those people are normally stuck in the middle because they earn too much to get something for free, or they earn too little to access a normal bond through a bank. This is where we come in as Bayport.
We are speaking to Thabiso Makgoro. I'm calling from Bayport Financial Services.
We provided solutions looking after all those in financial distress. For us, it's important to first say no to nobody. We believe even if you in an over-indebted space or in a distressed space, that we have got a solution in order to help you.
Money Solutions is all about financial well-being. It's about helping those people that are currently over-indebted and distressed and just cannot make ends meet anymore. If you are in a distressed situation, we would look at consolidating your debt, negotiating settlement discounts on your behalf.
So I approached the lady. I said, Tandika, you know what? You must swallow your pride and get help out there. I heard about Money Solutions department. They got discounted settlements. They settled my debts.
By refinancing it, we actually start to save you money, because in consolidating your debt into a one repayment plan, we actually look that your current installments that you're paying is less than a consolidation piece that you're going to pay off on a monthly basis, and that's been given at a discounted rate to consumers. Out of that, we help you then to increase your monthly cash flow and help you to save on those expensive debts.
I was so happy. I wanted even to cry, like, really? Only these people, they can help me. I was so happy.
We started with taking the program out to our corporates. A lot of these corporates don't look at their finances separately. They just look after the health of the employee. So we bring that financial solution to the corporates, where you physically look at people's finances.
We do wellness days, we do money talk, educating them around finance. Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? Are you ready for our session? Yeah! How many of you do a budget? How many of you do a budget in your mind? You need to actually put that budget onto a piece of paper so you can actually see how you are managing your money. Planning, budgeting. How do I budget so that I can manage my money going forward? Most people would say to me in our money talk sessions, I do a budget, but I do it in my mind. The financial literacy is all about helping them to manage how to take control of their finances. When we consult with people, I mean, some of them are in tears when they come to us. They're anxious. Some of them are scared because they've got informal people that are after them, harassing them for their money. It's bad. It's really bad out there, and people are suffering financially, and they need to be educated to how can they manage this. And once again, that's where Bayport comes in, to say that you are not alone. We are there to lighten that burden because we have a product that can assist you and help you to get back on track with your finances.
I was struggling to pay my account, so I just ignore it. I couldn't even take my calls because it was getting too much. If I see that it's a private number, I won't answer that because I will know definitely these people, they just want their money. I even tried some debt counselors so I can pay, but it didn't work out. It was too much. The fact that you own someone, it was too bad, really bad.
By enrolling on the program, we provide you with a credit status report that is for free. That helps you to be aware of your finances, to understand how you look like, how credit-worthy are you at the moment. We go through your financial report and then look at a solution that we can then assist you with. We will then go on your behalf and negotiate with credit providers settlement discounts in order to refinance that debt into a consolidation loan.
Bayport came to our workplace. Let's see if these ones are going to help me. So they explain what they do. Went to them and give them what they asked for my application, and it was approved. All the people that they said they were going to pay them, they paid them on that very day that they said they're going to pay them, all of them. I'm paying one loan now, not a lot of shops and loans and everything. It's just one loan only. I'm only paying Bayports only. So life is good, actually, yeah. Their interest is not so much, and the installment is reasonable as well. I can manage, I can afford it. I still left with cash, So everything is so easy now.
What's so good about it is that you don't only help that individual, you are helping their families. It's a ripple effect. They are the breadwinners.
I learned that you mustn't do so much that you can't afford, because that's what I did. Taking so much loans, clothes and all of that, you mustn't do that. And I learned that now that's all the shops you are allowed to lay-by. So rather lay-by. If you want something, do a lay-by instead of opening an account.
Part and parcel of what we do as Bayport is to give people advice on how to utilize their funding. The typical things that we tell people is never please take a loan for consumption. Don't take a loan to organize a party. They're not using it to buy assets for themselves. The best way to use credit is to actually help yourself for the future. Help yourself build a legacy.
My name is Chantal Williams. I'm married and I have 3 kids. Kids is very expensive, and if it comes to schoolwork and education, it's a lot of money. You would like to give your children the better education, so you put everything in for them to make them happy. I need a loan for my eldest son for high school because the school fees and clothes for them, because the clothes were very expensive. My husband told me, why didn't we go to Bayport? Because he heard Bayport gave loans for people. Bayport phoned me to help me with a loan so I can pay my children's school fees. The consultant is very helpful. I want him in the good school because I want him to learn and have a good education, and when they finish school, they must be proud of themselves.
It is imperative that in South Africa, for those people that are emerging, that are coming into the market, that are seeing these financial services for the first time, part and parcel of giving them that service has to be consumer education. Has to educate them about what uses are there that are good for the service that they're taking. Bayport believes that financial services products that we deliver will be part and parcel of improving the wellness of our clients. And that's the journey that we believe we're on as Bayport.
You know, when you're driving through Limpopo, you see a province that has energy, a province that has people that are wanting the same infrastructure and the same service as everyone else. However, there is a remarkable backlog. As much as we can say we've come a long way, there's still a lot that needs to be done in terms of upliftment and upgrading what we have to the standards that our people deserve. I am the Senior Program Manager for DBSA, and we are responsible for infrastructure development. The DBSA is an implementing agent that handles work for various government departments. In this instance, it is the Department of Education. They provide the funding and the name of the schools that we need to assist them with. So we come on board with the professional know-how that we have, and to try and put together teams that ensures that you get infrastructure that is of good quality.
As a young engineer that comes from the Limpopo province, to become part of the projects that we are doing, it's sort of like giving back the skill.
What is our gross profit by boys and girls? 100 rand.
While growing up as a learner, I learned under trees and under conditions that were not conducive in other schools. There are no taps, no boreholes. The loo is somewhere, in the bush. When you have a classroom that is got the right boards on the walls for easy learning, it gives them that sense of wanting to wake up in the morning with that thing that I want to go and learn. We're basically doing renovations, refurbishments, and new builds of schools within the Limpopo province. My position entails looking out for quality compliance to ensure that the contractor complies with the standards and also the contractual obligations.
What is the amount of our gross profit.
I'm teaching English and EMS here at Mashwana Primary School.
I'm aware that you know these things.
These learners are not overcrowded the way they used to be. We were not having even these just new tables, even the cupboards. I own my class now. When we are teaching, another one is waiting for you now. Now we are having many classes.
This school was so old. We used to have cracking walls and also some other learners get hurt. The tables has changed, the cupboards, the walls of the painting, and also our toilets has changed. The toilet was so old. When you close the door, you get it trapped inside the doors. I like education very much because my grandmother used to tell me that if you don't pass your grade 7, you will never achieve. And also that time wasted, never regained. Even she says that the bending of the road is not the end of the road.
I think the challenges that are everywhere are the backlog. You are coming into an environment that is politically, people have been waiting and they want to see the action quickly. When one gets into projects of this nature, you hope to leave the community with infrastructure that they can use for the benefit of the entire society. Education, as we know, is the key for all future endeavors for anyone. So the reach is not only on the learners that are at this school, the reach goes beyond.
Tuto ya magae le tuto ya makeisheneng a sa swana go fapana e swantse gore e swane. Ke nna ko kwa Bokang Kanyane, Bokang o tsana sekolo Phalalong school. So sekolo sa rena sa Phalalong se ile sa ba le bothata sa tšea ke moya wa Selatla. Ra thoma ra go tsoša sekolo sela ra se kokotela re le community mara re bona gore sekolo se a se safe for bana ba rena.
Bye-bye, Bokang.
I'm a construction project manager with the Development Bank of Southern Africa. It starts at planning, but planning includes also procurement. Then the biggest part of it is the construction itself. The history of the school is that it was built by the community, so there was no supervision from any of the professional disciplines. The first thing we did was to undertake a condition assessment. The result condemned the structural integrity of the whole school. So you can see all the cracks in the walls, which were condemned by the structural engineers. So the next option was for us to demolish it and rebuild on the same site.
When the DBSA came to us to say, we want to refurbish this, then we said, how are they going to refurbish this? Then we went to the chief, we asked for a land. Then we said to the DBSA, what if you go and build those classes there at the new site?
So after considering the financial costs of demolishing and rebuilding, it was decided that the new site was better than the old site.
We've got a lot of challenge, especially with the toilets. There was no water. The learners couldn't even wash their hands when they came from the toilet.
Every school should have appropriate sanitation. Where you cannot provide waterborne toilets, the department has taken a decision that we provide enviro-loo toilets.
I think these toilets are so good because they are not the pit toilets. We are not afraid that the learner can fall in. We know that when they are in the toilet, they are safe.
It's very important, and it makes one feel like you're making a difference, you're making a change, because at the end of the day, the learners that are in far-flung parts of the country should enjoy the same infrastructure benefits that people in big cities enjoy.
I work for the Department of Education under Zululand District. I'm a physical planner. I have a passion for rural areas because I grew up there. I know what I'm talking about. The challenges that you are facing here in KZN that most of our infrastructure, especially in rural areas, are dilapidated. The department has gone an extra mile to do a lot of work in terms of making the infrastructure user-friendly and to be effective for our learners in the district. story of the school started last year in December when there was a big storm that has hit over Zululand.
In order to learn, you need a place which is conducive for learning. These buildings were dilapidated, the roofs were leaking. When it was windy, the roof was also shaking. Teachers were disturbed in class.
We've got a lot of implementing agents, but the one that is in this school is DBSA. It's one of the good implementing agents because there's a monitoring which is done.
We assist the department in terms of implementing their infrastructure program. Our intervention was that we need to do major repairs and refurbishment starting from the roof up to the floor level.
It all starts from education department. They release the budget to DBSA to fix schools. It's not their budget, it's the budget of education.
It's our job as an implementing agent to make sure that we bring the right skills and service providers so that we can be able to achieve our goal as DBSA.
Just manage the water from our side. On this project, I was working as a project architect, looking after the specifications, the scope of work of the school. You've got your quantity surveyor who's looking after the budget. You've got the project manager that coordinates the meetings and the project between DBSA and Department of Education and the community. I will really remember, we can't hand over a dirty building to the client.
And are you happy with the spinning board? I work for Zamatunga Business Enterprise. We are the construction company that was brought in by DBSA. It is a 100% black female-owned company. We tendered for this project and we got awarded to do renovations due to the storm damage of the school.
When are you anticipate to finish? As part of our mandate as a service provider, we ensure that we leave something behind. We normally negotiate with the contractor that you can bring your skilled people, but please take people in the area and equip them with a skill. I don't want to strip, Maybe we can fix it as it is.
So how do you suggest we work around it? I started as a junior quantity surveyor. I learned quantity surveying, I got promoted into project management, and I learned how to translate from drawings to the actual construction. I got taught how to handle contracts. My wish for the learners is for them to be able to understand that whatever they can dream, they can achieve. As a young female, I was also at where they are right now. There are opportunities for especially females.
Good facilities, good infrastructure affects the mindset of the learners and their performance. It's good for the learners, it's good for us as a district, it's good for the communities around here.
You know, education is one of the key to success. Without education, the community cannot develop. We will remain in the cycle of poverty. So the school is valuable in our area. My life, my future.
My life, my future. My education come first. I decide. My action come. I'll promote my education in my lifestyle. I'll pass my matric with flying colors.
Sasingekho sihle kodwa mina ngithi I understand ukuthi yini engizele esikoleni ukuthi ngifunde. So looking at this cover is so poor, but when I got inside, looking at education was so wealthy. Now we are not worried about the sun, rain, wind. We're just free. Ngiqhakaze yabo nje ngimuhle njengokuthi ngiphila impilo engcono yabo ngoba nasesingcono. So exciting to learn, to acquire knowledge, because I believe education is the one thing that can make me succeed in life.
There are nurses of tomorrow here, there are police of tomorrow here, there are top political leaders of tomorrow here. It doesn't matter where you come from, it depends on the mindset, what you want to become.
It's a proud moment for me as well as for the Education Department and DBSA to contribute in terms of improving the facilities for learners in South Africa.